So if the Quran is true, and I obey it in this instance, by the standards it tells me to judge by, I find the Quran false.
I'm not trying to bash other religions, but if you want to know what the true faith is, you need to see this clip right now.
In chapter 29, verse 46 of the Quran, the text commands Muslims to engage with Christians and Jews, the people of the books, gracefully, saying, "We believe in what has been revealed to you and what has been revealed to us. Our God and your God is one, and to him..."
Now listen carefully to what he's about to say. You don't need to be a Quran scholar or a Bible scholar to get what he's about to convey to you all. Check it out.
We submit. Yet many Muslims today say something very different. Instead of affirming agreement with what has been revealed in the Bible, they accuse it of being corrupted and changed, that the God of the Bible is no God at all. In fact, numerous times the Quran spells out what it thinks has been revealed to the Christians and the Jews, calling the Torah and the Gospel a message that was sent down by God. If Muhammad has doubts, the Quran says that he should go and ask those who have been reading the scriptures revealed before him. Contextually, the only times the Quran has talked about previously revealed scriptures is when it's talking about the Torah and the Gospel. Muhammad is told by God here to go talk to the Christians and the Jews because they have revelation given to them already. Muhammad should have confidence because in the very same section that says that the previous scriptures were revealed, it also says that no one can alter God's words. We know exactly what the Torah and the Gospel would have looked like in Muhammad's day. We have copies, in fact, that come from the Arabian Peninsula during the time that Muhammad lived. These, of course, don't differ in any significant way in their core doctrine and teaching from any of the other thousands of manuscripts that predate the 7th century. In chapter 5, verse 46 and 47 of the Quran, it lays out a chain of custody that God sent down the Gospel to Jesus, confirming the Torah, both of which contained guidance and light, and said that the people of the Gospel, in other words, the Christians, must judge by what God has revealed to them in the Gospel. If they don't judge by the Gospel that God has given to them, then they're referred to as the defiantly disobedient. The Quran has already stated emphatically that the Gospel and the Torah were given by God, that these are revelations in the same inspirational vein as the Quran, and that they should be treated as such by Muslims. God's revelation in his word cannot be changed, and therefore if Muhammad has doubts, he's told to go to those who had the scriptures before him, the Christians and the Jews. The implication is that the Torah and the Gospel existed in Muhammad's day, enough to connect these revelations with the Christians and the Jews as reliable sources to go to. We have tangible physical evidence of what the Christians and the Jews would have understood as the Torah and the Gospel in their day. There is no indication in the Quran of any substantial corruption or complete extermination of the Torah and the Gospel. If there was, the numerous times the Quran makes mention of them would have no reasonable application. The Christians and the Jews cannot judge by what has been revealed to them if they no longer have it. If the Torah and the Gospel are God's words and no one can change God's words, an accusation of corruption towards the Torah and the Gospel is one that either makes the God of the Quran out to be a liar or incapable of doing what he says he can do. But this brings me back to chapter 5, verse 46 and 47 of the Quran. In order to take this passage seriously, a passage that addresses me personally as a person of the Gospel, a Christian, I run into a problem. If I judge the Quran by the Gospel, which I am commanded to do in order to not be one of the defiantly disobedient, I find that the Quran misunderstands, lacks comprehension of, and outright contradicts the Torah and the Gospel. So if the Quran is true, and I obey it in this instance, by the standards it tells me to judge by, I find the Quran false.
You want to know one of the major reasons why I don't follow the Quran? It's because I've never experienced Allah or Muhammad ever in my life. And if it weren't for people passing down that religion to their children and their children's children, there would probably not be any Muslims today. My experience, my spiritual experience has been with the God of the Bible, with Jesus. Even when I wasn't even a Christian, even when I wasn't even reading the Bible, I had a life-altering experience with God. And during that experience with God, I did not hear any words telling me to go to the Quran, to trust in Muhammad. I heard the voice say, Jesus, over and over, and it changed me because, again, guys, I was not even researching other religions. I was not researching Christianity. I was really pursuing New Ageism, spirituality, where you do whatever you want, try to leave your body and meditate. And here I am experiencing God, the God of the Bible, and I'm hearing the name of Jesus when I'm not even trying to research. And a massive question I have for Muslims is this: why is it that when you think of a Muslim or someone that's following Islam, you think of someone from the Middle East, you think of someone in in that geographic region, you don't really see a bunch of black people and white people and Spanish people and Asian people come into Islam like you do with Christianity. Why is that? Same goes for Judaism. It's very much a cultural tradition that's passed on to their children. But I don't want a cultural tradition. I don't want something that's just passed down because that's what your family did. I want the truth. And when I see Christianity, I see people of all nationalities and races and all different types of backgrounds, Muslim background, Jew background, atheist background, and yet they're coming to Jesus because they're having an experience with the Lord, or they're seeing the truth of God in the Bible and they're saying, this is real. This is what my heart is longing after. They're experiencing the love of God. I've never heard a Muslim say, wow, Allah loves me so much. Allah cares for me. I have experiences with Allah every day. I never heard that. Never heard a Muslim say that. It's always a tradition or some sort of apologetics or something that they're trying to argue. But for me personally, I have experience with God every day. My life has been transformed by the words of Jesus and by His Spirit working through my life. I don't want a fake religion. I don't want a dead culture. I want the truth. And if the Quran is telling Muslims to listen to Christians, well then come on and listen and subscribe and watch more videos, because hey, the Bible's transformed my life. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, has transformed my life. If He wasn't real, my life would not be transformed. I would still be in drugs, I might be in jail, or I might be dead. Jesus is the answer, and He is what transformed me, because He's real and He's alive. And this same Jesus can transform you too. Trust in Him today. I'll see you in the next one.